Welcome back to the F1 22 driver career with McLaren. We are on round 3 of our shortened 16 race season at Imola for what will be our first sprint weekend of the year. Of course, the sprint at Imola, somewhere else, and Brazil. I can't quite recall off the top of my head where it is. I'm sure you guys in the comments or someone in live chat will remind me off the top of my head. I think it's 3 this season in 22, and in real life there's 6 this year. And we'll be on F1 23 is Austria. Thank you, Daniel, for the other sprint race weekend. We do have Austria, we do have Brazil in our shortened season. So we picked up some great points in the first 2 races, even better in Australia than we were in the opening race in Bahrain, thanks to both Ferraris ending the race with engine failure and Fernando Alonso as well. So hopefully, good points on the board again, potentially for this Imola race weekend, although we're not sure yet what the weather is going to look like. There is the tendency to rain in Italy, so we'll see what the scenario looks like as we load up. But hopefully we get, as we did in Australia, completely dry sessions throughout, which is fantastic. So we'll have practice, then qualifying for the sprint race. Of course, the rules last year are different to the rules this year. So the rules on F1 22 are last year's rules. So the qualifying sets the grid for the sprint, and the sprint sets the grid for the race. Whereas in real life this year, the qualifying on the Friday sets the grid for the race on the Sunday, and Saturday is its own contained event where they shoot out qualifying that sets the grid for the sprint race in the afternoon, and it's all done within that Saturday session and running on track. So this is last year's, of course, outlay. So we're going to be hopefully competitive again. As you can see, we might be a little bit of rain or cloud cover, probably better way to phrase it, at the beginning of qualifying and towards the end of the race, but I don't envisage there being actually any rainfall. We have a new rival now, that being Esteban Ocon, so hopefully we can get some good work done trying to get past him. And we're currently the 5th fastest team still in the progress history in the R&D development. We've consistently progressed as we've moved through, and we have other stuff in development at the minute, and I do have some resource points left to spend, but I'm waiting for your feedback about durability stuff and, of course, where further to improve from there. So we'll wait for that. For now, though, drop the video a like if you're enjoying this save, of course. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and you won't miss out on any more of this save, or, of course, F1 23 when it begins in just over a month's time. Hopefully I'll get some early access stuff that I can bring to you at some point sooner than that as well. For now, though, we're going to jump into practice and then qualifying for this Imola sprint race Grand Prix weekend. And I'll see you there. I feel suitably pacey around Imola. Obviously, we're significantly faster with our quali pace run doing it in practice 1, where other cars won't have done a quali sim in that session, which is why we were significantly faster than other drivers. But now we head to qualifying for the sprint race. Now, the practice sim for quali pace said that I'd qualify about 5th. So again, I'm relatively confident of making it through to Q3, but anything higher than P7 and best of the rest is a win as far as we're concerned. And it's a 17.7. This is good enough for P7, right with my teammate again, unsurprisingly. So again, able to save a set of tyres comfortably through in Q1. It's not something we're used to from the My Team series, but thrilled with it, and we should hopefully, provided I get a clean lap and someone doesn't get in the way like Fernando Alonso did in Australia, we'll be able to get a clean run in Q2 and get through to Q3 quite comfortably as well. And in Q2, it's a 17.7 again, which seems to be about our pace. I did a 17.3 in practice, but 17.7 should again have us through to Q3. I think either myself or Lando just missed out there. Oh no, Lando in P10 has snuck through to Q3, and we are indeed bestie of the restie, ahead of Esti Bestie. But I need to do that again in Q3 now. Hopefully it doesn't affect my overall time. 17.7 in Q1, a 17.7 in Q2, and in Q3, a 17.3. So I've gone a 10th faster than Lando. Lando was a 17.4. It is P7 and best of the rest. So there was some more time in the car, and as the track rubbered in even further throughout the day, throughout the sessions, we have gotten steadily quicker. I mean, there's less than a tenth between me and my teammate. That is bang on. Poor from Checo, a full 2/10 of his teammate, and Lewis only 4,000ths of pole position. This is obviously only for the sprint, though, so we say thank you to Sheta for 16 months. This is only for the sprint. Of course, there is still the 21-lap sprint race to come. Before then, we have the grid set for the full Grand Prix on the Sunday. But in terms of my driver rivalry against Esteban Ocon, we've got the foot up on him at the first attempt. Everything maximised from that second practice session via the quick practice. And how many resource points are we going to get total? Obviously, we've got Lando's to add to it. And we are going to get 375 from him to add to our 742. It's close to 1,100 points. Now, 2,166 total. We are well stocked to improve the car yet further for the next round of the championship. But for now, it's time for a quick sprint, although it's still 21 laps and about half an hour, so plenty of racing to come for this particular episode. Fully dry, no strategy involved. It's a case of bolt on a set of mediums and gun it all the way to the end.
Okay, good
parked a little bit further back in my box. I was a bit worried about, because I'm trying to park straighter rather than directly in the box. That actually makes me need to turn a little bit. So I was worried about overshooting it, which we thankfully haven't done. If anything, I have left a little bit too much space there. But all short light sequence. And I'm still getting wheel spin. That was not a great start. And both Lando and Esteban Ocon have nipped in front of me there. Got far too much wheel spin. Fernando's going to have a look actually up the inside of me too. Nearly hitting his teammate. He does hit his teammate. Fernando Alonso contact with Esteban Ocon there. And let me put it in the wall. K-Mag darts up the inside. Well, that is not the start we want to be replicating for the full Grand Prix, is it? Here's thankfully only the sprint. Points. Oh, a big contact there with Gasly and Magnussen. So he's definitely got front wing damage now. Gasly going to be needing to pit probably for that. Try and hold around the outside of him here, which we've done well. He might need to pit for that, he might not, but he's definitely lost the outside plate of the front wing. It's not a great start. 7th to 12th is not ideal, is it? But we know we should be faster than most of the cars in front. So with DRS when it's enabled and ERS, we should be able to get ourselves back through top 8 score points in a sprint race weekend, of course. In a sprint race.
All right, let's focus
I
now
should say
for
sprint
the
race
rest of the
weekend. It might be a bit misdirectory. Full points, of course, available for the Grand Prix on Sunday, but sprint race points from 1st to 8th. So I need to get myself back up just close to where we qualified, and then we'll be in a position to hopefully pick up some points from the sprint race weekend. Obviously, I want to finish ahead of Esteban Ocon as well for my rivalry. So if you don't mind, I'm going to knuckle down for a second, try and get myself back in contention. Okay, I've got a massive run on K-Mag. I'm going to go around the outside of him there. Had to go deep into the chicane to get it done, but I got it done. Oh, 1. Gap between Tsunoda and Ocon is now up to 2.5 seconds, over 2.5 seconds. One of Alonso is past Lando as well. Yellow flags in front though. And that's because Fernando Alonso is sat on the side of the track. He was past Lando. He is not anymore. What's happened there? He's had a coming... Oh, he's just locked up and gone off the track. He's in the battle with Lando. And he's just straight up gone off the track. And then sat there in the gravel rather than coming back on. Or is he just slowly rejoining? No, he's sitting there. He's trying to get back on. But he's not going to get back on until the very end, is he? So Fernando screwed himself there. He'll be starting the Grand Prix further back as well, which is good because he's the faster of the 2 Alpines, of course. So I'm actually not that bothered by that. That was a bit of a code brown. A bit of oversteer there on exit. I'm just going to try and use my battery here and the DRS and get up the inside of Yuki. I'm going about 1 mile an hour faster than him. I'll leave him racing room, but we should be through on the inside, and we are indeed. Just. Right, 4 seconds the gap to now Lando, as Ocon has overtaken him and gone up to P7, but Lando hopefully will be able to cling on to the back of Esteban. And I now need to go and close them down, and I've got about 13 or 14 laps to do so. Lando is the last points-paying position right now. So that was a decent move on Yuki. I'm quite pleased with that. Like this. Is he going to go defensive? Lando is going to go defensive into the chicane, so I'll try and get around the outside of him, which I absolutely fail in doing. And between us, we're actually not helping the team, but Lando is driving for himself here, because where he is currently is that final points paying position in P8 for this sprint race. So he needs to finish there to get points on the board. And obviously, I'd like to get points on the board too, if he doesn't mind. Now we've got ERS and DRS.
You're dropping a second a lap to the car behind. 1 second.
Oh, I'm going to try. Use a bit more battery maybe. I should just still be able to throw it up the inside here on Lando. Give him racing room. And then I've got the inside for this next one. That's P8, so currently in the points for the sprint race. The question is, can I go and get 2 points off Esteban Ocon? Or am I only going to have to settle for the 1, or maybe less? Maybe none at all if I end up getting overtaken. Lando's actually having a look at my inside here. Let's not fight too much, Lando. I don't want to cause you any damage, pal. Really not worried about fuel for the race at all. Yellow flag. Oh, Esteban, what are the chances? How unlucky. Esteban Ocon. I probably wasn't going to catch him before the end of the race, or the end of the sprint. And just 2 laps from the end, his engine has decided it's had enough. He's been working that car so hard to maintain the gap in front of me that he's actually blown it. Well, we can just cruise to the end of the race then, or end of this sprint.
There's been an incident on track, but officials aren't looking to push for a safety car right now. Just be careful.
Does mean that Lando will now get a point in P8 and I will get 2 for P7. So as a team, that will do us the world of good to hold on to 4th spot in the Constructors' Championship. And a double points finish in the sprint, hopefully, will also mean a double points finish in the race as well, because with Fernando Alonso having gone wide and ruined himself, and Esteban Ocon now retiring, they'll both be starting at the back of the grid for the full race. Luck has certainly fallen our way so far in this season, hasn't it? Certainly in the last race with the retirees, and with individual errors and a retiree in this Grand Prix, or in this sprint, we're going to be in a great spot to hopefully go well in the next race as well, in the full Grand Prix. But certainly we do not have the pace of those in front of us, so I'm a little bit worried that the actual full Grand Prix might be a little bit lonely, especially now that both Alpines will be further back. But if I can try my damnedest at the start to cling on to those in front of me, then maybe with strategy we might be able to pull something out the bag. I'm going to have to probably use all of my ERS and DRS throughout the course of the early part of the Grand Prix to stick with the 6 in front to try and ensure that maybe we can finish slightly higher than P7. I think this McLaren car, and certainly with myself and Lando at the wheel, we are the best of the rest and the 4th best team. I don't think there's any doubt about that whatsoever at the minute. And we've taken some vital full race distance data from that sprint about fuel levels as well. So we can actually run the car slightly lighter than we did for that sprint race when it comes to the full race, which is great. K-Mag gets driver of the day for the sprint. Now it's time for the full Grand Prix. I'll quickly show you the final standings from that race. So Max Verstappen gets his 8 points, George 7, Lewis 6, etc, etc, Perez, Sainz, Leclerc, myself and Lando. Okay, with regards to standings then, it doesn't do anything for either of our positions. Charles Leclerc closing me in now, but it does consolidate us in 4th spot, which is fantastic. Let's go and do that again in the full Grand Prix. I might have to give my thumb a couple of minutes of recovery time because, ow. So the starting grid for the full Grand Prix after that sprint shouldn't look too different in the front section because of obviously the result of the sprint, but I'm curious to see where the Alpines are starting and if anyone's taken a grid penalty either as a result or on top of that. So we will be 7th and 8th with Lando. No grid penalty for him, thankfully. Came against Tsunoda. Now, Ocon is my direct rival, so obviously finishing in front of him will be important. I do think the Alpines will come through the field. Alonso will start 16th. Stroll and Latifi, and then at the back will be Gasly and Ocon. Then Ocon probably P20, and indeed he is. Sorry, pal. Taking a penalty with it as well. So he did have to put some fresh engine parts in that he didn't necessarily have in the allocation. All right, we'll sort our strategy out then, shall we? So soft, medium, soft is genuinely actually the fastest way, projected race time wise, to get to the end. So perhaps soft, medium, soft is the way that we'll do it then, with others around us starting on hards and fuel almost certainly a lack of concern because of the fantastic fuel saving capabilities of the McLaren, or fuel economy of the McLaren, relatively speaking. Then we could be pretty decent there. I will take a couple of ticks of front wing out as well to try and make myself a little bit faster in the straight line. If that helps, great. If I find that the front end isn't quite as grippy as I'd like, I can always put those couple of ticks back in at the first pit stop on lap 16. Right, we are set then for the race. So I'm hoping that on the... Oh God, another wheel spinny start. I'm hoping that on the softs I might be quite competitive with those that are on the hard tyre early doors. Hoping so. Anyway, Lando's on the inside, so I'm not going to squeeze him. I don't want to cause any damage to my teammate. Someone's just disappeared down the road. I think it's George Russell. He's just gone in that Mercedes. He's left everybody for dead. Lando alongside me, but again, the soft tyres come into their own. I think it might be because George is on softs and the Red Bull's on hard. So George has got a great start and is just going. This is potentially George's race to lose if he can get a decent enough gap on that set of soft tyres. Carlos Sainz trying to work his way through on his softs as well.
That's not great, but it's not terrible. Stay focused.
I think on this soft set we might be quite competitive, but we are going to have to do an extra stop compared to those that are on the hards that are just going to go hard medium. So we have to factor that in, of course. So we're expecting to pit on lap 16, or hoping to pit on lap 16. We got the inside actually of the Ferrari here and make that stick. Let's see what we can do then. Up to P6 for now. Not sure if I'm going to be able to stick with those in front, but I'll try. Soft tyres certainly again will help us. Sainz now all over the back of the Red Bulls as well. There is definitely a significant difference in the early race pace between the hard runners and the soft runners as Carlos Sainz is scything his way through and is now up to P3, although Checo is fighting him hard for it, but it's a fight he'll lose. Mick's actually passed Lando behind, unfortunately. But I'm trying to follow Carlos Sainz through here, although he's gone very slowly there through the chicane, taking Sergio Perez or battling with Sergio Perez. And now we're going to have a bit of a DRS train here for the next lap. No DRS yet. Using my battery, I might have a lunge on Lewis here. Going for it up the inside. We've got Lewis. Now to try and
Nice work, mate.
do something against Checo as well. Obviously, with them being on hards and us being on softs, it's not the greatest indication of overall speed.
There's a gap beginning to form. Let's make the most of it.
The way Carlos Sainz is kind of disappearing out front is the better indication of how competitive this car is on the same tyre compound as the others. Lewis was having a look. It's forced me offline, but we've been able to hold the position. Just need to get back up to Checo now and try and pick Sergio Perez off before the pit stops.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Oh. She wants me to stop lap 12 because my tyre wear is so high. I'll keep the current. It's not great if the team are like looking at the data and thinking his tyres aren't going to last. My only option will be, if I can't get those mediums as far as I'd need to, then my only option would be to go from mediums to hards at the end of the race, because I haven't got another set of medium tyres. So going soft, medium, hard is obviously not very good at all. So I could either go soft, soft now and try and get them as far as possible,
5.3 seconds.
or stick to what I've got. We're going to have a couple of rather slow laps at the end of this stint and the other stint as well. If I can get these softs to 16 and then hopefully run the mediums a little longer, then maybe I won't be quite so vulnerable at the end of the race. Yuki Tsunoda is out. Something's happened to the AlphaTauri behind us. It's an engine blowout. Yuki's gone pop. Okay, Yuki Tsunoda out of the Grand Prix. It's not going to affect our final position at all, and it hasn't brought out a safety car or anything of the like, so everything will be absolutely fine. 22.6 is not a great lap time. Charles is going to get me here. I might actually let him go and try and stay with him. No point fighting it. He's gotten all out of shape there, which will just help me through this first sector where I know I'm not very quick. Yellow's behind as well. Someone's had an off at turn 1. So now for Romeo. Probably just gone wide and is on his way again. Similar to Fernando Alonso previously.
Caution, caution.
Caution for Yuki's car on the inside there, but no issues. Combination of tyres going off and poor driving on my part as Carlos Sainz pits on lap 14, and as does George Russell, so they're pitting slightly earlier than I am on the same strategy because they've gone to mediums. At least George did. I didn't see what Carlos went to. Oh, my tyres are certainly past their best. I'm going to have to pit on 15, I think.
Come into the pits at the end of this lap.
Well, let's see what we can do then. Switching tyres, I expect yet, and indeed Mick is pitting behind me as well. Oh, Mick's actually jumped me in the pits, has he? Or is he not pit yet? No, he's not pit yet. I thought for a minute Mick could jump me in the pits. I was about to have an aneurysm. We are going to come out behind a group of drivers that are battling hard. Carlos Sainz being one of them, actually. Sainz getting held up by Latifi and Ocon, etc. is only going to work in my favour with regards potentially being able to finish slightly higher than P7. Try to get these tyres up to temperature as quickly as we can. Noticeably, Mick behind has actually gone soft, which to be fair was the default strategy of soft, medium. So I'm expecting then Mick to probably close me down from behind. We're going to need these tyres to get me to lap 48 probably, rather than 47, or even maybe 49 if they can. But we're on these mediums now for the foreseeable, so time to get stuck in and try and close in on those in front. Is George running in free air? I think he is. .3 for me. Oh, Nick. Oh, God. Latifi just slammed the door on me there, coming down the straight, and I got stuck right underneath his rear wing. Thankfully, we've been able to get past.
Now, just outside the points.
We will now be faster than all of the hard tyre runners, but I have to earn back effectively an entire pit stop's worth of time on them because I'm stopping once more, and they are now stopping once more. So effectively, we're now in our net race position. Fernando actually has a car right in front of him. I think it's Alexander Albon. Excuse me, Esteban. This is a bit simpler than Nicholas Latifi. Rephrase, a bit cleaner than Nicholas Latifi. Going to try and hold it around the outside, Esteban, but I'm just going to shut the door on him. Wait until that little proximity arrow went from red to white and then nipped across. Ultimately, Lando Norris is one that I'm trying to close down on now. So he's the furthest forward of the drivers that we stand a chance of catching.
The car ahead by a couple of seconds a lap now. Really good.
That have one stop left to do. Trying to get past Alex here as well.
Okay, good work.
Literally
Great
done.
pass.
It's P. Whoa! P wide is what it is. That's P9. Hold it. Shut the door. Sorry, Alex. Bit rude, but no contact and got the job done. Although I'm sure he'd be complaining about that on the radio. Let's go and get Fernando Alonso. 2.2 seconds.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds.
Once we're past Fernando, we have the opportunity to have plenty of free air to run in with fresher tyres. I don't know when I expect those hard runners to pit, actually. It won't be any time soon, I don't think. If we're planning on doing a 31 lap stint with our mediums, then surely those that started on hards will be looking to do 35 to 40 laps and then running the medium tyres to the end. Maybe lap 38 they might pit on and do a 25 lap stint on the mediums. 14 seconds to close down to Lando is going to be tough. There's a Red Bull in the pits and that's Max Verstappen. He's gone soft, and now medium, I think. Or did he go medium? Did he start on the mediums? Verstappen. No, he started on the hards. He's going to his mediums now. That's very early. Surely they can't take those. I mean, they very well could take those medium tyres to the end. It's 30. To be fair, it's 38 laps, isn't it? No, but that was the stint I expected them to do on the hards, not the mediums. So are they going to do a two-stop as well and go hard, medium, soft, maybe? Or can they realistically get close to 40 laps out of a set of medium tyres? The Red Bulls maybe can. Oh, Lando's in the pits now. See, they're stopping very early on those medium tyres. I'm not sure, you know. They're going to be slow at the end on mediums if they don't stop again. Really slow. So we are now on lap 26 of 63, closing in on half race distance in a bit of no man's land momentarily. Cars in front of us not pitting yet, or have pit as well as ourselves, and we expect then perhaps to not pit again, but they are going to have to take those medium tyres a very long way. Ocon behind us has to pit again. Mick behind us has to pit again. So we're just, and the cars in front of us are going to be faster than us, and the cars behind us are going to be slower than us. So I'm on my own at the minute for what would be, or might end up being, about a 20 lap lonely spell. We'll wait and see what happens, but if there's a safety car of anything of that nature, then things will change, of course. That's Lewis in the pits, coming out the pits just in front. We might actually have a little bit of on-track action then. If Lewis Hamilton's in the pits, Ocon's now pit from just behind us. Lewis come out on some mediums that are going to be quite cold. And ours are obviously at race temperature now, although they are a few laps old at 22%. I don't know how this is going to plan out from here. Mick's in the pits behind us. I imagine he's going to go hard. Well, he's going to go soft. His mediums will probably do 33 laps. I think the AI's tyre wear is just going to be that much better than mine. If Mick goes to mediums, then Mick is going to the end on that tyre set. Don't yet know what Mick and Zhou Guanyu were going to go to, but my tyre wear is obviously just that much higher here at Imola compared to the AI's.
And gap to the car in front is 6.
And as a result,
seconds.
I'm not going to have the tyre sets available to run what I want to. No, see, yeah, he's gone soft, medium. I think they'll take those to the end. I think I'm going to have to stop for hards earlier than I want to. And then we're just going to have to see if we can make it. We will not run the strategy we ideally wanted to. It's not the optimum. It's also not going to be a strategy that helps us get many points, I don't think. But there will come a time where I need to put some hard tyres on, and I'm going to end up, rather than trying to hold people off behind me, I'm going to end up again trying to chase down my teammate to catch him up, because Lando will inherit P7 when I pit again, and I don't think they're pitting again. I'm certain they're not pitting again now, because their tyre wear is just so much better than mine around here. So I'm going to end up trying to chase people down on fresh hards when they will be on worn mediums. We just need to make sure we get the changeover at the ideal moment, which will probably be when these tyres reach about 40%. Tyres are 47% rear right. I'm going to have to go to a set of hards on lap 40. These are not going to last me to then go to softs. It's just, I'm just going to be losing too much time per lap. I'd just be throwing away my race for the sake of trying to run a soft tyre. The fastest run to the end for us in this situation, with my tyre wear as high as it is to switch to a hard set around about now and go to the end and hope that my new hards are faster than other drivers' worn mediums. You see, George is pit again. And he's going to hards. George is actually running the same strategy as me. He's going soft, medium, hard. So I'm going to, considering I'm in this position, I'm going to box now. Here we go then. Final stop of the race. We are now going to try, take this hards to the end and chase down our teammate. Going to get Lando is what we're going to need to do now. We are going to be probably behind Ocon at exit, and then in between Ocon and Mick Schumacher as we come out.
Look after these tyres now.
There's Ocon.
The race on this compound.
That's Mick back there, right. So our fresh tyres, our fresh hard tyres will be fresher to the end of the race than everyone in front of us, but will they be faster than everyone else in front of us to the end of the race? That we will find out in due course once these bad boys eventually, after about a lap and a half, get up to bloody temperature. 21.0. Okay, so Lando's probably just had a bit of a dodgy lap. I only gained 3/10 on him there. So gaining on Lando, I don't know, is going to be doable. If anything, it's a case of, can Lando in peak 6 currently hold off the Ferrari that's behind him, closing him down? Lando might, probably not, be able to finish the race ahead of a Ferrari. I'm definitely closing on Esteban though, and I'm definitely closing on Fernando as well. I am closing on Lando, but not by enough, I don't think. Now, the weather forecast did say that it was going to get a bit overcast towards the end of the race, but that there wasn't going to be any actual rainfall. That's what happens when you look at Twitch chat. Don't pay attention. I crashed.
Are you okay? That was a nasty hit.
That's something that I can't do in Create a Series if I join it. If I can get a run on him up the hill, he's catchable towards the chicane. I just need to be with him, and I'm not now. Although he's back end stepped on him. Go defensive. Go defensive. Prick, I'm too far behind. Oh, he's locked up. We forced a mistake from Esteban Ocon. And we are past. Merci beaucoup, monsieur!
Good job.
Allez, les oranges! P9! Vamos! Allez, 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 allez. Monsieur Alonso, Senor Alonso. Oh, God.
Keep managing your tires.
Never mind.
Manage your tires.
Let's continue to worry about Esteban, shall we? He's a bit quick in a straight line. Jeez Louise. Okay. Getting past Alonso is one thing. Staying ahead of Alonso, quite another. Sorry, getting past Ocon is one thing. Staying ahead of Ocon, quite another. Wow, he had some straight line speed there. I got so excited when I overtook Esteban as well. Thought, right, that's it. That's P9, and now we go and get P8. Not that simple. I'm just going to drain my battery. I'm going to need it to defend from Esteban next lap. That's the only thing. Force him defensive. Get brave on the brakes. And he just locked up and drove into me. What are you doing, SD? He's locked up there. Have I got front wing damage from that? So I go deep around the or deeper around the outside. Does he lock up? And he goes over the, just goes over the curb. Thankfully, they make those front wings strong in Woking. We don't have any damage. We are at best going to be P9. He's going to go over the curb again, isn't he? Yeah. Got the run on him here, though. Leave me a car space. Always you have to leave her the space. Esteban. Bumhole. Get out of the way. Yeah, but guess now who's going to have DRS? Him.
P9 now.
And guess who's just going to race back past me? Esteban bloody Ocon. They top out about 10 mile an hour faster than me, and there's not really much I can do about it. Apart from maybe go really deep on the brakes like that. Get behind me! Stay behind me! Our final lap of the race, and I do need to fuel save a bit, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to lean on that 2-second gap I have back to Esteban Ocon as Max Verstappen wins the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here in Italy. We're going to have to settle for a 7th and a 9th as a team, which is respectable considering our constructors' rivals are Alpine, and we will as a team be scoring more points than they do this weekend. And on a personal note, my rival is Esteban Ocon, who is currently behind me by about 1.2 seconds. Provided he doesn't get me when low fuel mode might kick in at the end of the race. I should be okay. I'm going to have to fuel save again into the final 2 turns. And that should get us to the line ahead of Esteban. With a bit of battery power as well, we're going to finish and come home in P9, which is our worst result of the season, but still a really strong showing for the first 3 Grand Prix of the year. We had a great sprint race, and with no retirements in front of us, we haven't been able to make the gains that we did in previous Grand Prix. But in theory, you could argue we only made those gains in previous Grand Prix because of retirements in front of us. So P9 is about where we should have expected to be in that race, and to have finished ahead of Ocon is at least good on a personal note, and it will keep us still fighting for the constructors. You can see there that I get 4 points throughout the course of the weekend. Lando gets 7 points throughout the course of the weekend, whilst we get 11 as a team. Alpine only get 5 as a team. So in the standings, Lando closes up to me there in P8. Charles Leclerc goes beyond me in P7 as I drop 1, but we stay 4th in the Constructors' Championship, so very happy with that. I haven't actually paid attention to who's winning either championship at this particular moment in time. We're going to get the nod on Esteban there, and we're going to, is that up to level 7? It is indeed, just by the skin of our teeth, a few pixels up to level 7 overall, but a really hard-fought race that has taken its toll on my thumb with the controller, unfortunately, but that is the nature of it. And we'll see what we can hopefully get to pass leading up to the Miami Grand Prix. Fuel injection system for fuel power is good for straight line speed at Miami. And hopefully weight reduction and then distribution actually is going well as well. And actually, with the team developing elsewhere, we have now continued to improve in a number of areas off track as well. R&D progress wise, I think we might actually get a little bit better still. I still can't, whilst that's development, unfortunately improve with durability anywhere. But now I should be able to add on to the engine cooling as well. And ERS is going to be important for us, so I'll do the ERS. I can't do anything else chassis-wise. Aero-wise, I will do drag reduction. Oh, unavailable still, drag reduction. So I'm going to have to do one of these two. And I'll do the front wing downforce. Do I do rear? No, I'll do front. Do front downforce. And then we'll wait and maybe do either ICE or turbo durability before then trying to do something chassis-wise as well moving forward. But we are going to have to make some changes to some components after practice in Imola. The gearbox should be okay for the full Grand Prix, but the turbo, the MGUH, and the ICE will all need to be changed before qualifying in Miami. But to Miami is where we will go for the next episode. But that is all for this episode here on YouTube. Please do drop the video a like. If you've enjoyed it, you're continuing to look forward to F1 23, then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and there'll be more to come your way in the not too distant future. But for now, I need to go record a Southampton FIFA video for this second channel and an RCG video for the main channel as well. That's all here for me for now. I'll see you next time.